story needs a starting place. In this story, the starting place is my father's early life, because he, like everyone, was to some degree a product of his upbringing. The very brief biographical sketch that follows is intended to familiarize those readers who haven't heard of him before and to lay out some essentials of his early life before and following my birth in 1964. Hunter was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. His family had been in Kentucky for generations, and there are names like Semiramis Lawless and America Hook in our Thompson family tree. He sometimes called himself nothing but a smart hillbilly. He was born in 1937 and had two brothers, Davison and Jim, both younger. His father was an insurance salesman, and his mother was a stay-at-home mom until his father died suddenly when he was a teenager and she had to go to work. He attended public school, read constantly, spent time with the children of Louisville's old money families, and scraped through high school, not due to lack of intelligence, but because of boredom and hostility to authority. He also got into a fair amount of trouble, so that at age 17 he spent 30 days in the county jail for a bogus petty robbery charge. It would have been 60 days, except the judge gave him the option of joining the Air Force in return for the reduced sentence. He enlisted and was initially trained to be a radio technician. He despised everything about the military and probably would have spent 4 years in solitary confinement for chronic and unrepentant insubordination if he hadn't managed to lie his way into a job as the sports editor for the base newspaper, the Command Courier. This made all the difference. He worked his own hours, slept late, worked late, came and went as he pleased, did unauthorized freelance writing for a local civilian paper, and wrote entertaining, flattering, and wildly exaggerated articles about the base sports teams. This curried favor with the base commander, who in turn excused Hunter from the customary airman duties and shielded him from the constant complaints of other officers. In this way, he survived 3 years of the Air Force, got an early honorable discharge, and gained some solid experience as a journalist. He also understood that he wanted to be a writer, and a damn good one. Not a journalist, but a novelist like Hemingway or Fitzgerald. Hunter fully intended to go to college as soon as he was out of the Air Force on a journalism scholarship. Somewhere along the line, though, that became less important, and he never did attend college, with the exception of a couple of night classes at Columbia University in New York in 1959. He told me much later that he realized that in order to be a great writer, he needed to write, not go to school. After I had graduated from college, he said the only reason to attend college was to have 4 years to read. After his discharge, he held a couple of brief jobs on newspapers on the East Coast, including a stint as a copy boy at Time magazine. He was either fired from or quit each of these jobs, and soon realized he would never be able to work in an office for a boss, that he wasn't wired for it. It became clear to him that working as a salaried journalist was not going to allow him to be the kind of writer that he wanted to be. So he became a freelance journalist at starvation wages, but with the freedom to work on his own terms. Not that he was lazy. He worked hard on his first novel, Prince Jellyfish, never published, cranked out freelance articles, and wrote a vast number of letters to friends around the country. He looked at letter writing as not only a way to keep in touch and debate ideas, but as a writing exercise, so that when he wasn't sleeping or in the bar with friends, he was writing. He moved constantly, went through a long string of old and worn-out cars, slept during the day and worked at night, borrowed money, and lent it when he had it, stayed one step ahead of the bill collectors, and left a trail of small-time debt across the country. He also kept carbon copies of everything he wrote in neatly organized and carefully labeled folders. In New York City, he met my mother, and then spent several months traveling around South America as a freelancer for The Nation and the National Observer, a weekly paper published by Dow Jones.